Okay, quick update on the smoker project. I cut the door out. I don't know if I'm going to use that for a door or not because it sprung open quite a bit when I cut this apart and it's got that bung in it. I might use it for tuning plates in the bottom of this, but anyway, I got the opening out of the air compressor tank for where the door will be. I'll either use that or I'll make like some flat metal and just put a couple big bends in it the whole width, do a squared off door. So you open that. Inside of here I've got this angle iron, and this is a grease drain. Right here there were two big bungs where the air compressor fed air in and then all the controls and switches and air out was on. And instead of trying to make a curved piece of metal to patch that with, I just put a bigger piece of angle iron in it. So drippings off of whatever I'm cooking will go into here, they'll run down into here, and then off of this I'm going to put a pipe fitting and a ball valve for a drain. Obviously I'm going to have to do some buffing inside there to knock the rust down. The outside of this hole looks a lot better. I just cut it with an acetylene torch. I'm fill welding it right now so that I can grind it back down so it all looks smooth. But like I said before, 33-gallon air tank here, and then I've got this firebox on this end. And for people who don't know how these smokers work, in the firebox I'm going to have an ashtray, and then I'm going to have a basket of charcoal. And I made this big enough that I can do what's called the minion method, which means you start the charcoal here, and then it follows a path around your box, so it burns nice and even for a very long time. This firebox is a little bit oversized for the size of the cook chamber, but I wanted to be able to do that with the charcoal. So it'll run on charcoal, and then, the garage is a mess, ignore that because I'm moving. I've got some apple wood from back home that I can throw on there for the smoke flavor. So that smoke and heat comes up through here. Quick explanation for people that haven't been around smokers. And it comes out through here. Now what happens is, if I just put my cooking grate in here, it's going to be very hot down there and not as hot down there, especially if I put the exhaust stack on the top. But what I'm going to do is at cooking grate level, right here, I'm going to put a plenum on here at the height of the cooking grate, and then put a 4-inch exhaust stack up out of there, so the heat and the smoke have to stay at about that level to come out. It'll keep your heat more consistent end to end, and it'll keep the smoke in there more consistent end to end. Another thing I'm considering doing with possibly that plate, minimally I'm going to put some kind of deflector over this opening so that if grease falls in there, or if I throw a stick in there and it flares up, that flame isn't coming out and hitting the meat. So I'll have some sort of deflector in here minimally, and then maybe some smaller plates along the way so that heat has to stay underneath there before it comes out. It helps with evening out your cooking temperatures. So that's where I'm at with this right now. It's fully welded all the way around now. I'm doing this all with a 120 volt MIG welder, my little Hobart 140 there. So this is something anyone can do. Raid scrap piles, buy old broken air compressors and throw the compressor away and use the tank. You can build one of these. These spoked rims from the 1940s, I'm assuming, will be going on this project because this is getting heavy. This tank probably weighs 50 pounds, 60 pounds, and that's all 3/8. So that's very heavy. This thing's going to end up weighing hundreds of pounds. So I'm going to put these wheels on it with just a flat piece of metal welded across them, because as you can see, they're way too far gone to be used on anything on the road, because these actually spent a lot of time underwater. So I'm just going to weld a flat plate over them, put them on the back there. So we're getting legitimate progress. You can actually see it coming together now.